Hey, budding lawyers, welcome to the podcast. Today, we are going to have a chat with Ms. Gazel Aggarwall. Gazel is a legal consultant with experience in the entertainment industry. She is currently working in Saregama India Ltd. Hey, Gazel, what's up?
Hi guys, all good. Hi Prasanna, and I'm so excited to be on your show. Very excited to be doing this podcast with you.
Okay, pleasure is mine. And thanks a lot for taking the time, even while you're doing a lot of stuff like shifting from like one house to other. Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks.
no, but
Okay.
very glad to do this.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so Saregama, before talking about the job, let's talk about something about your college and like how many internships have you done, and have you done all these internships in the media sector itself?
No, so I started interning from my first year itself. So I had a vision. I had everything pre-planned before starting my law school. I knew what exactly I wanted to do, what all fields I wanted to experience, because I wanted to be, by the end of my fifth year, I wanted to be sure that what exactly am I pursuing. So I didn't want any regrets later on. So I was interested in human rights. I was very interested in shipping and maritime, real estate, liquor industry, media and entertainment. So I explored all of this. So I started from my first year itself. I started interning with an NGO called Oxfam.
Hmm.
Then I went on to intern with Human Rights Law Network, Mumbai. And then I did a summer course in human rights lawyering. Then, when I figured that, okay, this is not my cup of tea, I'm not enjoying it as much. So, from human rights, I moved on to shipping and maritime, from there to real estate, to liquor industry, and then to media and entertainment.
Hmm.
So, I did a so in within media and entertainment also you have varied fields. There are divisions. So I started with I my first media internship was with India Cast, which is a subsidiary of Viacom.
Hmm.
I was in the distribution segment. Then I went on to work with Disney India. There also I was in the distribution segment. And when, I did these two internships, I realized that distribution is a sector which would not require lawyers eventually once everything gets digitalized.
Can
So
you talk
that is
about
when,
talk a little more about the distribution segment, what it is and what it involves there? Thanks.
yeah, so distribution is, so there are these media companies which own channels,
Hmm.
okay,
Hmm.
TV channels.
Hmm.
Like the time I was working with Disney owned about 9 channels. The time I was working with India Cast owned about 36 channels. So when you are working in the distribution sector, you deal with all the cable operators, um, Tata Sky, and all these service providers,
Hmm.
basically who are being the facilitators between these media companies and the general public.
Hmm.
And this sector is um, regulated by TRI.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so this is one segment of the media and entertainment industry. So a lot of times people don't really understand what is a media and entertainment lawyer. I come across this question a lot, that, oh, okay, and then when they understand what a media and entertainment lawyer does, they think that, okay, it's something related to Bollywood, and they just get fascinated.
Hmm.
A
Hmm.
lot of students get fascinated. They
Hmm.
think that, okay, it's something to do with Bollywood, and oh, let's explore. And the only fascination is Bollywood, but they don't understand the technicalities behind the entire music and media and entertainment sector.
Okay, so let me
So
ask you this: when you entered this field, like what picture did you
yeah.
have about this sector?
Honestly speaking, I really wanted to intern with Disney by hook or by crook.
Hmm.
So they had different divisions. So they are into consumer products, wherein they are into distribution and production of Disney toys.
Hmm.
And then that time, Disney had a studio segment also where they were producing films. Then this distribution segment, because they own 9 channels. So I somehow just wanted to get into Disney.
Yeah, but I
Uh,
wanted to know, like, what did you know before joining? Like, what were you thinking? For
no,
example, okay,
that's
okay,
what I'm
sorry, sorry,
coming
sorry.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is that I wanted to get into Disney, and uh, I gave all interviews for all the segments, and luckily I got selected for the distribution segment.
Acha.
So that is how I got exposed to
Hmm.
uh, the media industry.
Hmm.
That is the reason.
Hmm.
It's not that okay, I had completely, like, I didn't really know how to get into this field, but
Okay.
I wanted to intern with Disney by hook or by crook. So that is when I developed an inclination towards media industry. I started understanding that okay, how things work. Okay, I didn't even know that something like this existed.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
then I started, that is when I developed my interest in IPR, and that is how I decided to do my specialization in IPR.
Okay. So from what I understand, it was like you don't know about the field, but Disney was something, fascinating for you. So you wanted to get
Yeah.
into Disney, and that's how you explored the field.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Interesting. So after getting, so this is also one thing, like media and entertainment is not so popular nowadays. It is getting, but it's not so popular as IPR industry is, IPR, law
Right.
firms. So when we talk about Bollywood and stuff, first thing people think is that you are an IPR lawyer. So
Right.
how would you differentiate like between an IPR lawyer and a media and entertainment lawyer? Because they also deal with the IPR stuff, right?
Right. So the thing is that IPR consists of trademarks, copyrights, and patents.
Yeah,
All three fall under the umbrella of IPR.
and GI and
But
stuff.
yes,
Hmm.
but a media and entertainment lawyer is mostly dealing with copyrights.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
because it's all about securing your IP, whether it's music or it's films or whatever. It's all about securing your IP. So we are mostly dealing into copyrights. So you can say that I am a copyright expert. I wouldn't call myself an IPR expert.
Okay, right, right. So apart from the copyright work, what else? What else do you do? Like, can you take us through a day of your work?
Yeah, sure. So I'll just tell you a little about my experience with tips, because that is where I got the maximum exposure. Rather, I should actually start with Saffron, like my career in general.
Hmm.
So I started with Saffron Broadcast and Media. Again, it's a very beautiful story behind how my journey started.
Please, please,
So
please. We are always interested
yeah,
in stories.
so after my internships with India Cast and Disney, I realized that distribution doesn't have any future. Eventually, once everything is digitalized, they'll not require the sector wouldn't require lawyers anymore.
Hmm.
So also, I was lucky enough to have really good mentors. So my mentor at Disney, she told me that Gazel, you should explore the production side of things. You should explore. You should work with a good production house, where maybe like a Yash Raj or a Dharma or something like that. If you're really interested in continuing in the media and entertainment sector. And I was keen on looking out for opportunities, but then I got a little busy with my final semester and submissions and everything, and I got approached by Cineyug. Cineyug is a very well-known media house who are into doing events. So
Okay.
I was not interested in doing events. I was more interested in working with a production house. So I told the HR that, I'm not. So this is my last month of college, and I get approached by the HR from Cineyug, and she tells me that, you know, we want a lawyer, and I said no, I can't do this, and I'm looking to work with a production house. So after 1 month, again she approached me and she said, Ghazal, this time I have an opportunity for you with a production house. So she was also hiring for Saffron Broadcast and Media.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, I did a little research on Google and I couldn't find much about Saffron. I was very skeptical, and you hear so many things about Bollywood being associated with so many scandals and everything. So I was very apprehensive about going for an interview to a place which there was no information about it on Google. So still, I it was just a leap of faith at that moment. I went for the interview, and when I saw the office, it was in Juhu. I was stunned, and I met Mr. Nikhil Dwivedi there, who's the MD of the company. So it was just a 5-minute interview that I had with him. I don't know what he saw in me. I also loved the vibe of the place, and I just started, and I started as the only in-house lawyer for Saffron. So that is how, so my first film that I worked on was Veere the Wedding, which
Interesting.
was a co-production between Saffron, AKFCN, and Balaji. So I was very excited. Then, so they were doing a lot of things. There was a lot of variety. We worked on a television serial for Viacom. I met Mr. Anil Kapoor at his house, with respect to Veere the Wedding. So that is one of the most memorable moments for me, that is when I became his fan. That is the time when I realized that, okay,
Yeah.
oh, he's a charmer.
That was
So
a jackass moment for you.
yes, that was the jackass moment for me. He's a charmer, truly. So things just started getting interesting. So I got exposure towards TV, then films, and then we were doing a few ads, and then there was so much happening, and there was so much variety that it just kept. I was so interested. I wanted to know more. I wanted to study more about it. The agreements were so interesting, and I was like, this is the place for me, this is exactly what I wanted to. And I was so glad that I made that decision, of joining Saffron. And then this tips opportunity came, and that is when I got exposed towards music. So music, so again, for tips also, I was the only in-house legal counsel, and I don't know if I was ready to take up this huge responsibility of managing uh, the non-litigation profile for such a huge label come production house. But I'm so grateful to the Taranis, to Mr. Kumar Tarani, Mr. Girish Tarani, Mr. Ramesh Tarani, and Ms. Jaya Tarani, that they believed in me. And that is where I learned the business aspect of things, film business, the music business. And I realized that for a media and entertainment lawyer, just knowing your copyright is not enough for you. It's very important for you to know the business, how the business runs. So I used to sit with all the teams, the YouTube team, the OTT team, the CRBT team. I would sit with them, understand the agreements, understand how they are structuring their deals, and accordingly, of course, I would do my agreements. But, the understanding of the business, this is what Mr. Kumar Taran used to tell me always, that Gazel, legal will happen, but you need to first understand that what your business person wants from you, what your business team wants from you. Accordingly, you have to turn around the legalities. So for an in-house counsel, it's very important to be a bridge between um, the academic part of things and the business part of things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So probably for somebody who's working for a law firm, they are more concentrated on, uh, the academic part of the entire,
Mm-hmm.
agreement, or, the deals. But as an in-house counsel, I also have to uh, make sure that, my business team is not suffering, or, things are as per their liking or requirement. So that is a major, responsibility on an in-house legal. So again, there are, so in the media and entertainment industry, we have in-house counsels for production houses and media houses, and then we have few law firms also who are solely practicing, who are practicing other areas also, but they are majorly into media and entertainment, like Naik and Naik, Desai and Partners, um, and A&M Global. So there are these few top law firms who are very good with their media and entertainment practice.
Okay. Okay. Um,
So that is how, so right now also, it's my typically, you asked me that how my day looks like. So, it's a constant battle between me and my business team, so I was telling you the other day that, there are a few songs releasing. So, it's, this job is fun, but at the same time, there's a lot of pressure on us, because my team might just come up, my business team might just come up to me and tell me that, okay, Ghazal, we are shooting a song day after tomorrow, and these are the artists we are engaging, and this is the production house we are engaging for producing the music video, and we need the agreement in another 2 hours. The monies have been logged, this and that, we need to get the people together, this is happening, that is happening. So, I have to be on my toes all the time. I have to follow the deadlines. It can be any time, it can be late in the night, it can be any, because, the shoot might just happen at any time, with a production house like Tips, with a production house like Saregama, because they're churning out content continuously. It's
right.
a continuous process. So it's very important also. I feel in my career I was always very you know vigilant about the choices that I'm making for myself with respect to the organizations that I'm working with. So this is an advice I was given to by one of my mentors, that, you should work with a production house or a media house which is constantly producing content.
Hmm.
Otherwise, what happens is that we have these small time production houses also, which make one film in 6 months, and then, there's no work. So then what happens is that, you are doing redundant work almost. See, the agreements are pretty much the same. You have to replicate it for the film, unless, there's a major difference between the deal. Generally, there'll be a difference in the structuring of the deal with respect to if it's a co-production, or, if it's a Netflix commissioned film or something like that.
Hmm.
Otherwise, for cast and crew, your agreements, your drafts are pretty much the same.
Okay.
There's not much that you have to do. So you have to be very vigilant while making a choice. Of course, with all due respect to all the uh, production houses. This might be a little controversial while I'm saying something like that. But, when there's constant content being produced at the organization that you're working with, there's a lot of chance of growth, because, uh, so as when I was working with Tips, I was also looking after the film segment. We, at that time, we entered into the web space, so, I got an exposure towards that. Then I learned about music industry, the music business, and we were doing infringements. There was litigation happening. I was involved there. So there was so much happening all the time. There was there was a thrill. There's a thrill, constant thrill, because there's so much variety around you,
Hmm.
and that is how you evolve. That is how I have evolved. You know. So currently, when I'm working with Saregama, uh, so I'm handling the new content uh, segment, the new content bit of things. So the thing is, what I do exactly is right now. So there are a few films. Uh, we acquire music of few films
Hmm.
that can be Hindi or regional. So we have presence all across the country. Currently, you must have seen that this the music for Bell Bottom is on Saregama.
Okay.
So that what that means is that all the songs are owned by Saregama. The IP of the songs in the film is owned by Saregama, which is both audio and audio video.
Hmm.
Similarly, we have a lot of YouTube channels, and then there's so many music videos that we produce. You must have seen Pani Pani,
Hmm.
Badshah's new song, which is like, I think it's the most happening song of the year, I guess. So that is a music video.
Okay.
Uh, so we that's a non-film content. So that
Hmm.
falls under the non-film content category. So these are the single releases that we make. So in this, there is music that we acquire, there is music that we you know get produced. So a lot of things around this keep happening all the time. So it's kind of very exciting. So that is how my day looks like. That is what I handle. That is what my work is.
Okay. So you get a chance to visit the sets and all too, right?
Not really, not really.
No, I
Nothing
mean,
like
yeah.
that. Unless,
The most of the work is
unless
all
you
like
have a
in your
good
office
rapport with
only.
your, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all so you don't have to be present on the shoot. In fact, you need to be in office
Hmm.
because there's a lot of paperwork that happens, and you have to be available to provide the
Yeah, yeah,
drafts.
I didn't frame it properly. Sorry. I was asking that
Yeah.
you have the chance, like you can request someone and you can get on the sets if you want to.
Of
That
course.
was my.
Yeah, that is always there. You
Hmm.
can always do that if you have a good friend in the production team.
Hmm.
You can always do that. But I have never really done that.
Yeah, because
Uh,
there's so much work.
yeah, there's so much work all the time.
Hmm.
Uh, I never really felt the need also. But yeah, it's exciting. The atmosphere whenever there's a shoot going on, the atmosphere of the office is pretty, like there's so much
Happening.
happening. Yeah, it's very happening. There's chaos, and there's so much buzz. So it's kind of fun. The song that is about to release, it's constantly playing in the background. You already know the lyrics, so it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Crazy. So, apart from the academic performance and experience you had, are there any other
yeah.
things which recruiters look out for before hiring in this field?
See, I'll tell you honestly. When you're choosing your internships, you have to really choose them wisely. So generally, people want, uh, there are very few media and entertainment lawyers, and there's very limited chance of people getting trained otherwise, like once they join a production house. So when you're interning, it's very important that you intern in the media field, because they look for people with experience, of course.
Hmm.
And also, you need to know your copyright very well. You need to have a specialization in IPR. And then, in general, what my experience has been with respect to my interviews and otherwise, that, people look out for sincerity, when they interview you. I don't know. This is what my experience has been. I don't know, nothing specific, nothing in general. But of course, understanding of the music business and the film business is a must, because, and that comes with experience and that comes with time. But uh, if you have it, then, it's an additional. So you should keep reading. So there are a lot of there are a lot of magazines that you can refer to.
Yeah.
There are a lot of courses that you can you know you can do while you're
I was just coming to that. Can you suggest any?
yeah, there are these short courses that Nalsar Hyderabad offers on media and entertainment law. Even Harvard and all, there are a lot of universities across the world, even in India, which offer specialized courses in media law or media and entertainment law or entertainment law.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And the magazines you're talking about?
So there's Film Companion, and there are these few. I'll share the names with you. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
maybe in your
Sure,
next
sure.
video you can,
Yeah.
yeah,
I can
you
add it
can,
in the description. You can share it.
yes, you can do that.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
So basically, these magazines, what happens with these magazines is that you have the latest updates. You'll see a public notice. So it's very important. If there's some information, if you're acquiring music, okay, supposedly I'll give you an example. If you're acquiring music from a certain producer for a film, so you need to publish a public notice in these magazines. So it's a mandate to
The
publish
hmm.
a public notice in two magazines, trade magazines. These are called. So
Okay.
it's very important. So if you read these magazines, you get to know a lot of things. What is happening across the industry? Who's acquiring what? Who's what all? So a lot of things you get to know. Which title has gone to whom? There are these titles also which when we get them patented and all. So a lot of information you get from these trade magazines.
What do you like and dislike the most about your work?
Um,
A
I would
tricky
say that
question.
yeah, it's quite a tricky question. I would say that I was never probably I realized it during my law school that I'm not meant for something like a criminal law or and real estate. you know Media is so much fun, and also I myself come from a music background. I know I get this a lot, that my name is Gazel and then I'm in the music industry. And I'll tell you something. I sing also, and
Okay.
I've performed at national level while I was in school, and I used to play sitar also. So I'm quite filmy and musical that way. So I love being a part of the music industry. I love being, it's a lot of fun. So I feel I was always very filmy since my
Mm-hmm.
childhood. So I feel that I was tailor made to be in this industry, from my name to my, uh, you know, uh, the talents that I possess.
Hmm.
From everything, it just, everything is now in sync.
Hmm. How did I miss this?
Yeah.
This would have been my first question.
Yeah. And when we talk about disliking, so yeah, disliking can be, you can say that, this industry is not so organized. Probably like how an investment banking industry would be, or, maybe other industry or a pharmaceutical industry would be, our industry is not so regularized, not so organized, But, with Netflix and Amazon, all these MNCs coming in, probably things are changing. A lot of, the face of the Indian media industry has changed a huge deal. And maybe, eventually that will also happen. But otherwise, there's nothing to dislike, it's just fabulous.
Okay, one
So,
can see that from your passion, how you're talking
yeah.
and stuff. Okay. Um, did you ever, I don't think, but still I'll ask the question because I've written it here. Did you ever
Yeah.
consider leaving this sector and trying out something else?
Uh, See, the thing I'm passionate about the most is media and entertainment sector. After this, if I have to pursue something, I would go for shipping and maritime. If ever, I have to make a shift,
Okay.
that would be probably because, media and entertainment has its presence only in Bombay. And if you have to move out of the city just in case ever, then I might consider doing shipping and maritime. But again, the scope of shipping and maritime is also very limited because you need to be in a port city.
Right, right.
Yeah. So, but yes, eventually, I have a retirement plan and I might just retire early. I don't know. This is what I think now. So, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to run my own business. I have a few business ideas uh, in place. So yes. So eventually, yes, I may, I
Okay.
may just
Yeah,
move on.
we may have another episode with CEO Gazel Aggarwall.
Yes, maybe.
Mm,
Inshallah.
okay. So, over to our last question. Please share an incident from your career which is very memorable to you.
So one of my most memorable uh, incidents would be that, one of my bosses once told me that I was not probably ready to take on the responsibility. And I felt at that point that maybe I was not sure if I was ready to be in this field or not. But sometimes one statement by somebody just changes your entire perception, you know makes you feel enthusiastic. And that was a turning point in my life. That is when I realized that, okay, I want to be in this industry. And of course, you have a lot of apprehensions also about working in this industry. My parents were never happy, and they didn't really understand. So I come from a small town. I come from Patiala. So my parents have a certain, so whatever uh, they know of the industry, they know it from what is portrayed by our media on the news channels. So they were very they were not very happy with me joining this industry. But I would say that the kind of mentors I've had, the kind of people I have worked with in the past, due to those experiences, today I am, I'm very happy in my career. My passion is only growing with time. I've I've only the liking towards this profession has only grown over the period of time. So yeah,
Okay.
this is about it.
Yeah, nice one. Okay. Thanks, Gazel, for this great conversation and sharing all your experiences with us.
Yeah, I
And
enjoyed the conversation a lot.
yeah, same here. And thank you so much for listening to this podcast. If you like this episode, do check out our other episodes available here and follow us here so that you don't miss out a new episode. Thank you.